Hi everyone, hope you're well. Today is Wednesday the 15th of May 2013 and I've done several takes of this video, so this might be very short and quick because I'm just trying really hard to get what I want to say in one take. So first off, I haven't had a very successful day so far. I kept on getting distracted. I made the mistake of trying out a computer game I hadn't seen and then I got stuck playing that for hours, as it happens. So I need to do some work on my dice game. I wanted to start programming the Flash version of it for testing and stuff. And so I've decided to make this video, get out of the way, and then I can get on coding for the rest of the evening with no distractions. So anyway, I haven't actually done anything productive today, but there was a subject that was on my mind that I thought I would like to talk about. I'm just going to have a sip of tea. Okay. The subject is, so I can't think how to say what the subject is. I just have to explain through it. When you first start on YouTube, this is let's put it this way, this is my personal experience, so it might not be the same for everyone, but you might, if you're sort of growing a YouTube channel yourself, you might have a similar feeling, and this is how I got over it. So anyway, when you first start, you think, okay, I've got this channel, I want my channel to be successful. You obviously have an interest in YouTube, this is a subject I covered in another video. You should have an interest in YouTube. You probably have an interest in YouTube, and you watch other channels. And my nose is really itchy just as I'm recording. It's just so annoying. Okay, you probably have an interest in other channels, and so you start paying attention to what successful people on YouTube do to see if you can pick up some good practices and ideas and stuff. And what I did, I found I started following people that I didn't necessarily like their content, and them, their personality or whatever wasn't really on my wavelength or whatever, a bit of a personality clash. But I, follow them on Twitter and watch their videos and stuff anyway, to see if I could pick up good ideas because they were big, successful channels. And I started feeling like a lot of the time, and actually still sometimes, but it's not as bad, feeling like I'm not really, there's something about YouTube that's kind of bugging me. I want to be successful on it. I think it's a really good platform for various things. I think it's a really fun environment and everything, but something was bugging me about thinking, and it was following all these big, kind of having to spend time in a kind of virtual way with all these successful YouTubers, watching their videos and stuff. And some of them, not all of them, but some of them I just really kind of don't like, or they kind of irritate me, or worst of all, I just don't care. I just don't think they offer anything of value. And so, but I was following them because they were successful. And the revelation that came to me was, I was always aware that I'm not aiming to be like one of the biggest channels on YouTube, like literally one of the biggest, like top 100 or something, because that's a bit delusional. And that's sort of like over 100, over 1 million subscribers or whatever. But my target, as I've talked about, is like 100,000. And so, I figured, what I need to do is I need to look at all the channels that have achieved at least 100,000 subscribers, so that I can see who has actually achieved this goal of mine and what they're like. And then when they actually copied and pasted channels that have 100,000, I ended up with a list of like over 1,000 channels. So there's actually loads, and that was a while ago, so I think there's even more now. And that was a huge revelation for me, especially going through the actual channels as well, because there's so many different things going on. And when you do a gaming channel, for example, it's very easy to just be focused on like the gaming scene on YouTube. But there's all sorts of other things going on. And it just made me feel a lot better, because And I find more and more stuff over time. There is actually loads of other YouTubers out there that I feel I'm on the same wavelength as I feel, I have a similar personality, not the same. You have to be yourself. You have to be, to be original, but have a similar kind of vibe, for lack of a better word. And so that's always made me feel a lot better. And knowing that those people are successful, and knowing that so many people are successful, it kind of relieves me from having to pay attention to successful people who I don't like. And I think that's the same with everything in life. There's always going to be people that you don't like who are more successful than you. There's always going to be some. There's always going to be, there's plenty of because if let's get really real, like really wide, big picture about it. We're all focused in on our little bubble, our little world, whatever we're personally interested in, that we know all about. And for me, maybe that's YouTube at the moment. I don't know everything, but you know what I mean. Everything is your main interest. But there's plenty of multi-millionaires out there and war criminals and all sorts of terrible people who are like multi-billionaires and have all sorts of power and privilege and great lives, and you can't do anything about it. So there's no point paying attention to people just because they're more successful than you if you don't like them. And if they're a different personality type to you, then it's almost irrelevant. And that's how I feel now. And it feels a lot nicer because I can just follow people that I like. I can just pay attention to people that I like, that I think I have a similar personality and intelligence or whatever it might be, sense of humour, whatever, and know that I can be successful just being myself, and that there is, because that's the main thing. It's like you should just be yourself, but the dilemma I had that I was worried about, because I paid attention to a lot of these big channels and they all seem to have a certain kind of vibe that I felt was so different to my personality, because I'm kind of quite, I can have a quirky sense of humour, but I'm not wacky high energy. As many of you know, people have always described my sense of humour as dry, and I'm not necessarily, I can be, I can have sometimes if I'm in an extremely good mood, I can have a bit more energy, but I'm never going to be like, actually, I'm not going to name names, but and not necessarily all those high energy channels I find annoying, but some of them I like, some of them I really enjoy. As you know, I'm a big Tobuscus fan, in fact, but it's just not me, and so I was always worried that maybe I'm never going to pretend to be someone else. I have to be myself. That's the only maintainable way of doing it. But I was always worried that, well, maybe my personality just can't find just isn't compatible, just has some audience, obviously already has some audience, but maybe it's just never going to, maybe there just isn't 100,000 YouTubers who want to watch me. Maybe that's just a fact of life, and I should think about show ideas where I'm behind the camera rather than in front of it, and I get someone else to present or something, all sorts of ideas going through my head. And but over time, the more channels I found that I feel like are more in line with my personality and my kind of kind of stuff I would like to do, and I can see that they've achieved a lot of subscribers and success and everything, I feel a lot better about it. So it's a long video. I think that's the best explanation. That I've recorded quite a few of these, so sorry if it still doesn't, if it's still a bit rambly, but I think that's the best explanation I've been able to come up with about sort of like how I felt about it and how I kind of feel now. I feel a lot better. it's still kind of frustrating when you see really annoying channels and they get so much success so quickly. But it's just, but you have to recognise it for what it is, and you have to recognise that it's just stuff like that happens, and stuff like that happens and you don't even know about it, and so just because you've noticed a particularly annoying channel that you have no interest in, but loads of little kids or whatever enjoy it, then that's just the way it is. Let them enjoy it. It's nothing to do with you. It's not relevant to your interests. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Don't get frustrated if you feel like your personality doesn't fit in with like the kind of what's super popular. Don't get too worried about it, because I truly do believe, it sounds really cliche, but I truly do believe that being yourself is the best approach, and if you're expecting to be one of the top channels on YouTube, then you're not anyway, and that doesn't mean that you can't be very successful and very happy, making YouTube videos. You don't have to try and be like whatever the current popular thing is. Anyway, I think I've kind of made my point. I really hope, because I've recorded this like 10 times now. I hope you're well, and I will see you tomorrow.